It's just saying starting.
No, we're live. We're showing live.
Okay, guys, we are live, and I apologize. I've fussed before about my internet connection here in rural Alabama, and once again, it has done a number on us. But we're back. This is the AMFAW Chat 18 and a half, and we have as our guest Chris from Tactical Advantage, and I think where we broke off is where I was blaming Chris for my current obsession with building a AR pistol. I think that's about where we lost the signal.
Yeah. Well, in the hiatus, I went and got the two AR pistols I have. This is a 7-inch. Sorry about the tight screen there, but shortly after I finished this one, since I was like a kid in a candy store, I decided to build a 10.5 too.
So what kind of groups do you get out of those?
You know, on the 7-inch is the only one I've shot. I'm going this week to shoot the 10.5. I ran the 7-inch at 50 yards just to kind of play and sight in the optic, and I was putting together maybe 2-inch groups, so I wasn't really shooting for accuracy.
Still at 50 yards for a barrel that short, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was just popping them off. I think the biggest drawback with these, especially 7-inch, the really short guns, is you're losing a lot of the ballistics, you know, especially from a 5.56 or a 2.23. But you know, I built it more of a training gun for my wife and my son. My son's 10 years old. My wife weighs about 90 pounds. So I wanted to get them something that we could go to the range and kind of play with, and they could move around with that wouldn't, you know, just kill them to try and heft around.
And my 10-year-old wife is only 90 pounds.
How much? but that gun shoots like a champ. I think the 10.5 would actually shoot better than the 7, so we shall see. But
okay, so you've got the I didn't see on the 10.5. Do you have the brace on it too?
I do. That was really why I built the guns. That's exactly, you know, it all went around the brace.
Yeah, that's what's kind of gotten me enamored with this idea, is that brace.
Well, I think if you really look into it, I think SIG was kind of thumbing their nose at everybody when they call it the SB-15, you know, and it's for a pistol, SB, short barrel, whatever they were thinking. But I was like, wow, could they be any more obvious about it? Being like, eh.
Yeah, exactly.
Build shorties, it's fun.
So what is the overall length on the 10.5?
Oh boy, I would probably say probably right around 26 inches.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a guess. I haven't measured it.
No Vesky barrel?
No, it's actually got a Aero Precision barrel, an Aero Precision upper. I bought that from a company called Surplus Ammo and Arms, and they predominantly do a lot of stuff from Aero, and I'm happy with it for the prices that they're selling them.
Aero is a banging company.
Yeah, and they actually build a lot for a lot of the companies when they have overages. They're just manufacturing. But I think the 7-inch upper, excuse me for looking back, but I'm looking back and trying to remember what I had in it. But I bought the upper with the Yankee Hill Diamond quad rail, with the brake and the bolt carrier group and bolt for $419 or something like that. It was inexpensive. The fit and finish is great. You know, functions great. I can't say enough. So probably two of the cheaper guns I own, but they seem to be performers. So we'll see in the long term how they last. But for now, I'm happy.
Now, has either your wife or your child shot it yet?
No, they will be going this week. This is the first week of retirement where we get to run out and kind of do some stuff and have some fun. So
gotcha.
We're going to go and play with that this week, hopefully. And I got a new carry gun here lately that I haven't even shot yet that I'm carrying, which is a big no-no. So I definitely need to get to the range.
What's the new carry gun?
The SIG 938.
Cool.
I was so enamored with the SIG brace that I finally bought my one and only SIG firearm.
So you're going to become a SIG-aholic, like you're going to have a SIG addiction, like a lot of us get these Glock addictions.
Oh, Glocks. Nah, it's not worth getting up. Have you guys seen any of my Glock stuff?
Yeah, I have.
That's really what
And that's another thing, guys. If you're not familiar with Chris's channel, he does some banging stippling. Just the detail work.
I was afraid
awesome.
I was afraid I'd burn through the polymer on mine, and I'd have some kind of wretched, nasty, jagged hole in my gun.
It can happen, my friend. Believe me, I've seen some jobs that come up, and there's a few people that I associate with that have been doing it a long time. I've been doing it a long time, and you'll see some come across, the internet, like, oh my God, did they actually use a blowtorch on that gun, or what did they do? But yeah, it's definitely doable, user doable, if you can be semi-controlled. If you have Parkinson's or something, it's probably not the best project for you to try and tackle.
Right.
But yeah,
you don't want to jump in it after 4 monster Red Bulls and a half a pot of coffee.
Well, I mean, it'd probably take you half the time to get it done, but
I did see
get done real quick.
What's them little number punches that they used to stamp numbers into steel?
Yeah.
And he heated one of those up and did his all with number 8s. And it turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually sounds like it would. I've tried in the past. I've done like leather stamps, all sorts of stuff to try and get pictures, because I ended up in the beginning, and how my YouTube channel actually first got popular is I had a video from, I don't know, around 07, 08, where I actually did around stencils, so I could do like a skull and crossbones or letters and stuff like that. And since then, I've been looking for that miracle tool, so I got leather stamping tools, melted down, they're made of lead. Got all sorts of stuff, just couldn't get it to work right. So anybody that can get anything in there with like a texture, throw me a link. I'd love to see that. Steal from somebody else for a change.
Yeah, no, this was a long time ago. I don't know that I can find the video again, but it's one of, when you first get a gun, the first thing you do is go on YouTube and see how you can trick it out,
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, look at Jarhead 6, because he got that Glock and he's fanatic with it now. He's
Let me see. Hold on 1 second, guys.
It is the guest of honor in every one of his most recent videos.
I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a Glockworks gun?
No, that's a Tactical Advantage Competition Custom number 003.
No kidding, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. That's what I do.
So how much you going to charge me to do mine if I send it to you?
Well, friends get a discount rate, but it's actually not too bad. It depends on what you want to do.
And look, I absolutely insist on paying your going rate. I don't want a discount because you've got to make a living, and I fully support that. So, but I'd just like to do those lightning cuts on the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And
machining.
Yeah, and put a lighter trigger. And I'd like to mitigate a little bit of that recoil somehow.
What is it? Is it 1917? What kind of gun is it?
It's a 17. Yeah.
17. Okay.
I've got 2 of them with sequential serial numbers.
Well, the serial or the slide machining's cheap. That's just putting it on the mill and doing that real quick. The trigger, there's a ton of ways you can go with the trigger.
Rocket trigger. I was thinking about putting that in myself, but
yeah,
I'd like to do that 3.5 pound rocket trigger.
Yep, and that's actually what's in this gun. It's been polished, but the rocket's in there, and I actually have a video on YouTube doing that. But if I had the gun in my possession, it'd take 5 minutes to do it anyway.
All right. How about if I send you the parts, because I think I have one.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay, and then I want to Cerakote it in Coyote the slide.
Okay, that's not a problem. That's easier than doing the polish work that I normally do. Believe me.
Yeah, I like that two-tone look. If you'll look at the AR build I did on my channel, which I need to move that over, the Alabama Owens and our lowers match. Of course, he rattle-canned his, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I Duracoated mine, but you can't tell them apart to look at them.
Yeah, that's cool. But let me.
Yeah, I drew off a Ted for mine. I liked the look of his so much that I just had to do it. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the little things I do with my ARs is like you'd see on the HK. I go and like paint the safety selector and paint the little bullet pictograms and stuff. That's right. It's those little things that kind of get me when I see them. I'm like, ooh, how pretty is that? And
yeah.
I would never admit in an open forum. Well, I guess I just did that. I think about guns being pretty, but I do. I guess.
I saw a AR-15 lower one time at a gun show, and where it was on safe, it had a stop sign painted red, and where it was fire, it said bang. It was the bang switch.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's cool. I know y'all have seen the ones that are now out that have the 30 caliber clip and the half-second burst, making fun of De Leon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lawmaker.
Yeah. that's a good one. But so what's the consensus? Am I gonna get to keep this, guys? What do you think?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get to keep it.
Even if afterwards they say that no, this isn't legal, it was legal when I bought it.
Well, didn't they have an ATF letter saying it was legal? Didn't it come with it with an ATF letter?
No, no. It shipped just the lower by itself was all I got.
See, are they? I haven't ever messed with those, but are they company stamped by manufacturer? They're completely blank of markings.
Completely blank.
So how are they even going to know where you got it from? I mean, honestly,
the only
APF
markings
sees
on
their
it is
customer
where it
list.
says safe, fire, and auto. That's the only marking on the whole thing.
Yeah. But even if they have a customer list, they might not know exactly. Oh, who knows? It's hard to say. But the only reason they would ever come back and try and do anything with it is if it would be evidence in a case, and there's probably a lot more out there than the one you got.
Yeah, actually I saw something on it I was looking at earlier today, and it was talking about there is another company that is in the same city. I think it's Ocean City that Aries is in, and they think that this was the genesis of this whole problem. This company was buying 80% lowers from Aries, and it was a storefront that had a machine shop in the back.
Oh.
Yes. And you could go into this storefront.
And they manufacture you a gun with no markings. I understand.
Yes. And you would go in the back, and you would run the machine, but there's a guy standing over your shoulder saying, okay, drill here, okay, do this, do that. And the ATF said, no, that doesn't work.
So maybe, I mean, it's all conjecture now, but maybe they're just trying to raid Aries' records because they think it'll tie him for this other.
Right, and I think that's what they're getting at, but nonetheless, I still
they're
do
still going about that the wrong way, man.
Yeah, I would think that if that was really the ultimate test, what they were looking for, they could have asked Dimitri for just particularly that customer. What did they buy? I don't know.
Yeah, for what we know, they may have, and he might have said pound sand. I'm not giving away any customer's info, which is, I couldn't blame him for saying that either. I wouldn't want to give away any of my customers' information, no matter who it was.
Right.
But that's a tough one.
If you had, some guy that shot up a school with one of these.
Well, yeah, of course, there's exceptions, but if.
But I think you'd have a certain amount. You'd have to have a certain amount of integrity to protect the privacy of those folks that bought it from you in good faith. So.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want it, you can send it to me. I'll make sure it's. I'll take care of it.
And give you a receipt.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've already mailed it though, so I can't sell it.
That's right. That's right.
I think I need a 14 or a 12.5 maybe.
Yeah, I've seriously, ever since I watched the short stack videos, I've been poring over everything I can find on AR pistols, and I'm actually limited to a 12-inch barrel here in Alabama.
I do know every 80% lower I ever bought came with an ATF letter, saying it was not that little letter that they send saying it's not a receiver.
Right.
I've gotten that with every 80% I've ever bought.
Hmm.
Not that I bought any. I haven't bought any. I just this is what I heard.
That's what you heard, right?
I've been watching YouTube a lot, and everybody says that.
If I had,
it would probably come with a letter.
Oh man, when I did the pistol, I was always suspect. Even like the Rock Rivers and the Bushmaster, like the carbons that used to be years ago. Now they came out with those, but you hear the horror stories about them not functioning properly and nothing works. So I thought it would be a tremendous problem. I was ready the day we went to the range just to be fighting malfunctions all day, but man, it didn't skip a beat. Bang, bang, bang all day long. So with a 12.5, you'll still be able to carry some punch too ballistically. So it should function reliably, and it should actually carry a little bit of weight to target.
Are you going to put that in 223, or are you going to go with a sub-cal?
No, I'm going 223.
I was looking at that 5.7, man, and I'm thinking, oh, that would be awesome in a pistol. Not an SBR, in a pistol.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Let me get my fingers at a pistol.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about jumping on the 300 blackout wagon, but I got too much stuff already that I don't need a divorce on top of it all.
Yeah. Plus,
Exactly.
That's one more round you're going to have to stock.
Yeah, no doubt. And then having to modify, 223 brass, and it's already I think I'll live.
Yeah. I just recently picked up the 5.56 as a new round that I have to stock, so I don't need to throw another one into the mix.
You're going to get into reloading next. You don't know it right now, but you're going to get into reloading.
Yep.
I'm beginning to see that.
Just do it. Get it over with. Open up the catalog and make the order.
The components are cheap. The hardest thing to get right now is powder.
Yeah, and that's for the longest time in the middle of the scare. I had a heck of a time getting primers.
Me too. And now I buy them and I pile them up and I pile them up and
it turned me into a hoarder. I hate to say it, but I'd buy them 10,000 at a time. When I'd make an order. That way But you can still kind of find like the age-old powders from here and there from like Natchez or different places, but it seems like the newfangled powders that are coming out that people are buying into, those are the ones you can just never find, and it's a bummer because I want to try some new things. But
I started using that for my AR. I started using that Accurate 2230.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't find any recipes, in the Hornady books and all that.
Yeah.
But I did find some stuff online. The first 3 or 4 little batches I cook, because I do them 10, 15 rounds at a time, go to the range, test them out.
Yep.
And underpowered wouldn't cycle the gun, wouldn't extract. Would leave it in the chamber. Then I had to fight to get it out. And then I slowly kind of tweaked that recipe up, and it is hitting now. It is on par with factory ammo. So
I run 4064, and I just bought that because it was around. I found it, but there's a ton of it, and I actually use some more obscure powders for my handgun loads. 45 and 9, I run 700X, which is actually a shotgun powder. And you can usually find those. For some reason, that stuff doesn't fly off the shelves as much. It's dirty, but it shoots good.
Well, I'm actually using in my 9mm, I'm actually using a shotgun powder.
Mm-hmm.
And it does fine. It's a high brass shotgun powder, but it does fine. Again, same thing. I had to dial my recipe in. I had to kind of figure out, what's what. Start low and work my way up. And I wanted something that would have a little bit reduced recoil, but still cycle the gun. And once I found that sweet spot, that's what I loaded. I wrote it on a piece of tape and I put it on that powder funnel, so I could keep checking that from time to time to make sure my powder measurement hadn't gotten off. But
that's what I get in my 45 ACP. I think I run about 3.9 grains of 700X on a 230 grain round nose, and my brass would land on a 4-inch by 4-inch napkin all day. round after round.
This is a Winchester powder I'm using for that, and yeah, so. And I don't want to stay here and talk reloading because we're losing everybody. I'm looking at these two. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm looking back at the comments, and last comment was Skinny Medic 300 blackout.
Yeah.
I killed the chat.
Yeah, nothing kills it faster than reloading powder talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Guns.
Totally lost me and budget both, right?
You're gonna be right here in our wheelhouse inside of 6 months. I guarantee you.
I'm afraid you may be right. This is an expensive habit we have.
I will do you this, Alabama, because I love you and you know how we are. When I upgrade my reloading setup, I will pass my other one straight your way. Lock, stock, and barrel.
I would owe you big for that one.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Maybe not. You may have to sell to pay for a divorce attorney. So
yeah, okay, yet. There you go.
I just finally got the reloading dies in from Dylan for my 308, and I think it was about 4. And I say just. It was probably 6 weeks ago I got them in, or longer, but it was like 4.5, almost 5 months between the time I ordered them and the time they showed up at my door.
Ouch.
Wow.
And yeah. So, and I love the Dillon machines. They're great. They're great machines. But I think if I had to do again, I would probably go with a Hornady lock and load system or something like that, or another more commonly used progressive system than Dillon, because Dillon's customer service and their shipping times and lead times and lag times, great machine. But their customer service sucks. I'm where it is.
Yeah, it's sad because it didn't used to be that way. They used to be all about customer service, but.
Oh yeah, but these show up in the mail every month or so.
Oh yeah.
I get the catalogs. Catalogs was outrunning the orders.
Now, Chris, are you in front of a green screen, or is that a green wall?
Yeah, that's my green screen behind us, and that's, okay. Trust me, the other half of the shop is not fit for a live showing of the on YouTube right now. So
I got you. I understand.
What do you do in front of the green screen?
I do like theoretical or engineering-based videos, like talking about sites and acquiring a site picture, and I can superimpose things and yada yada yada. Every now and again, I do a news spot, and I'll throw like pictures or stuff up to my right.
That's where he edits his Harlem Shuffle videos.
Yeah. When I make my own videos, like I'm running from the dinosaurs or something, like do a green screen. So
I'd watch that.
So look, this is the way the wind's blowing. It's for the reloader next. That's going to be the machine next. If I buy another Dillon, it's going to be the big 50.
Okay, I was going to say, can you even get the 50s?
Yeah, they make it, but the machine is just $1,000 just for the machine.
Wow.
And you can't reload a 50 cal. You can't. The dies won't work on a standard on like a 650 machine. So you have to get something that's got a little bit more meat in the seat.
Right.
Or the single stage press where you can do it one at a time, and that's you can do that. So I think the Hornady machine will take that one at a time, won't they?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can do it with the turrets too, with like the lead turrets. I think, but I've always kind of shied away from doing 50. I don't know if I want to roll my own stick of dynamite. I might just be a sissy too, though.
Yeah, you do.
I see where you're coming from there. Hey, Skinny Medic asked a good question. I did see this. Did you guys see the article today about the Clemson, I believe it was Clemson, South Carolina? There's some pub or something. They have a sign on the door, and I'm not going to be able to pull this up fast enough to tell you.
Oh, yes.
It said concealed carry holders not welcome here if you're... Basically, if you're that much of a wuss that you think you need to do that,
I have it here. I have it here. I can read it.
Yeah, read it.
It says, okay, in real big, it says, no concealed weapons allowed, and then in smaller font, It says, if you are such a loser that you feel a need to carry a gun with you when you go out, I do not want your business, douchebag. And that is on his window, and
that
people
last
have
word was his
responded.
signature, right?
I think so. Yeah, signed.
So, in other words, in English, victim convention here.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. They should rename it to Fish in a Barrel Pub.
Oh, nice.
That's it. That's it.
But like people have responded. Like I've been. That's actually what I've been reading while you guys were talking about the reload, just to see what had happened. People just destroyed this guy's social media. He had to take down his business's Facebook page, and I'm on his Yelp right now.
I was reading his Yelp earlier. They're killing him.
They're giving him 1 star at everything. Occasionally, there's one guy who's like, "Listen, guys, all right, you don't have to just badmouth him just because he doesn't believe the same thing." And then every other comment after that is, "Yeah, liberal." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, see,
Food's awful.
I'm kind of in the understanding where I appreciate the freedom that he has to say that, but I'm not going to throw a stake into that dog pen. You know?
Exactly.
I'm not going to be the martyr for that guy. No way.
Yeah.
Enjoy what you get, buddy.
Well, look, I'm about to say something extremely controversial. So, if you have small children in the room, now is the time to take them out of the room.
You have been warned.
Okay, so I saw this thing on Facebook, and it showed a picture of Jesus lying down on the ground next to the cross, and it said, "Would you help him up?" And of course, everybody's yes, 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 yes. And I'm thinking, no. That's his destiny. He knew that coming in, that was part of this. He had to do that. If he didn't do that, if you helped him up, you would negate his whole purpose. Right. Am I the only one that gets that?
That's what he said to Peter. He said, "Get behind me."
Yeah.
Satan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
It might be your instinct too, but I don't know.
But you would have to fight that instinct because the whole redemption of humankind hinges on him making that journey to Calvary.
Right.
And although you would want to, and you would grieve and mourn and probably, suffer right alongside him emotionally, you'd have to let him make that trip. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And
they said it's not the nails that kept him on the cross; it was his love for us. That's one of the kind of churchy kind of things that you hear, but it's true. I mean, he had all this power. I mean, unlimited power. Is fully God, fully man, and trying to help him, and they did. People, there's the 12 stages of the cross. It's something that the Catholics are very firm on, but it's true. There are people that were trying to help him along the way, and he's like, "Thank you, I appreciate it, but I must go on. I must do this." I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. And so there's one more deal because you said social media that I got to bring up. So, and I'm going to plug a channel here, Tex Grebner Outdoors. So this kid shot himself.
I shot myself.
He shot him. I just effing shot myself. All right. So now every time he puts a video up, every single time he puts up a video up, said, "Hey, aren't you the tard that shot himself?"
No, wait. I'm sorry, I gotta say this because the one thing in that video, if you pay very close attention, he comes out and he comes clean. He's like, "Hey, shot myself. I effing shot myself." And then my training kicked in, and I called my mom.
And then
quote unquote.
But if you look, he very gingerly, he shoots himself, he pauses for a second, then he very gingerly sets his gun down and starts limping around. And look, I gotta tell you, the dude's got big giant brass stones because I'd have been screaming like a girl too.
Yeah.
I probably would have called my wife before I called 911 because my mom is 600 miles away and I don't live in her basement. And but now he was fishing, and he made a fish hook out of thorns, and somebody put in there, "I just effing thorned myself." So yeah, at every single one of his videos, and I go to his videos just to look at the comments now. because every one of them has something. Aren't you the guy that shot himself? Hey, didn't this F-tard shoot himself?
I tell you what, it did take stones to kind of put that out, you know.
Yeah.
Even though he went viral as hell, and he probably made a couple bucks on it, but
he made it to Tosh.0.
Yeah, I saw that. But I don't know if I would have the stones to do it, you know, or if I would maybe after the fact show someone the bandage or something, but
yeah,
not the aftershot dance. You know?
He did show the wound channel in his leg though, and you could see how that 45 ACP just really did the. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in all actuality, he's probably pretty lucky because if you had a hollow point open up in your leg, you have a high likelihood of taking a dirt nap, you know.
Yeah. And you'd think, by his demeanor, his actions, some of the videos that he puts out, that he would really be a loser. But watch that kid shoot a bow. He's a beast. I mean, he's like Hunger Games with that thing. And yeah, he did kill a deer that he caught trapped in a corner. It's like a cow feeder or something. But he never kills anything. He never shoots anything when he's deer hunting. But he narrates it. Every day of hunting is different, and every day of hunting is exactly the same. You can't have it both ways.
Hey, if you're not first, you're last. That's what I always say.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would have a hard time.
Let's go get kicked out of an Applebee's.
I would have a hard time uploading that video because if I upload a video and I misspoke and I didn't catch an edit, I mean, I hear about it for, well, I guess forever. I mean, every week there's someone who's like, what about this? Or what about this? And even things that I do and I put in the video, people don't see, they'll still write comments like, how come we don't have a rechargeable flashlight? And there's 7 people that like it. And I'm like, timestamp right here. Yeah. I talk about it.
Well, I will say this about you. Now, your OCD is not going to let you put a video up like that anyway. And your last video, and it was an awesome video, and I loved it. But every single thing in your video was labeled with a little tiny label on there. I mean, it was very neatly little. He had label on here, and one of the labels had a smaller label on it that said label.
I am a little OCD, I'll admit.
You would never make it as a grunt because we throw everything in a rucksack, and dig through it and trying to find it, dirty socks and everything else, and on top of it, nothing has a label. And yeah, you would just absolutely short circuit, stand there in one spot and vibrate. You would die.
There's the reason I joined the Air Force.
I'll give you guys a good one on Facebook. A couple weeks ago, I got a rifle tattooed on my arm I'm doing like a patriotic sleeve. And I told my tattoo artist when he was doing it, I said, I bet you someone in my fan base is going to comment about the configuration of this rifle somehow or another. And not 15 minutes after I posted the picture, there were people going, hey, your foregrip is too far back on that gun. You couldn't shoot it possibly well like that. I'm like, it's a tattoo. It's not even a real gun. Yeah, and I won the bet. I mean, it took less than 15 minutes, but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, some of them fans are serious about,
They are.
Funny stuff.
I get, and I don't know if you would wrap this up, but I get a comment every week. Someone who is either ranting and angry or someone who leaves a really long comment about how upset they are about how much items I keep in my own pockets. I do little pocket dump videos where I say,
they're mad at you because you're carrying too much stuff in your pockets.
They were like, you shouldn't have this many pens. You shouldn't have this many knives. You blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, like, did you just come from a video where you critique some lady's purse about the different items that are in her purse too? Like, are you just going from personal, my personal items? This is what I bring to school, first day of high school video. You just go from video to video. Like, no, is that wrong? You better rethink this. Every
I am the pocket police, and I have a problem with what you're doing.
Yeah. Like, wait. How many knives do you have?
Yeah. Now I gotta say, Budget.
I do have a lot.
A bunch of junk.
I know I carry a lot, and part of it, I guess I should have explained this. Part of it is to see what works and then trim down from there. And
Yeah,
then
you
sometimes I just
can't
want to
say
see.
anything, Alabama. I saw your pocket video, and you look like somebody emptied out my uncle's '55 Buick. I mean, that was stuff falling out of your pocket for 20 minutes, and then
Some wheat pennies.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
A half melted cherry lollipop that you get from the bank with a little loop stick on the bottom of it.
You never know when you'll need one of those.
It's a good luck charm, man. Hey,
Pays to be prepared.
Chris, check the internal chat there.
There we go.
For a closing. Does that make sense? By the look on your face, I'm assuming it doesn't.
Not really.
That's what you say at the end.
Oh, okay.
That's our little tradition.
Guys, we're past time here. Chris, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoyed having you with us.
Well, thanks, guys. It was fun.
Guys, anything you budget bug out? Anything you need to address before we sign off here?
Let's see here. The deadline for my 5,000 subscriber giveaway is coming up this Saturday, I think. Yes, and then I'll be announcing my 6,000 subscriber video, I guess, shortly after that. And then I just did a video yesterday. I uploaded the video, the Zombie Survival Kit 2.0. If you haven't checked that out, it's interesting. Yeah, don't get mad at me for how many items I have in there. That's all.
Mr. Louisiana Owens, you got anything?
So the AMFAW channel is bearing down on 1,000, and I'm going to announce here, and then we'll do a video on it later. But we are going to give away a complete lower receiver kit from the buttstock all the way through, and all the parts for you to assemble yourself. And the only stipulation is that you have to be legal to have it transferred to. So it's going to transfer from me personally to you. So if you cannot own a firearm legally, you need not apply, because I'm not going to send it somewhere and have it fall into limbo when somebody else could use it. So that's where I'm at.
And as I said at the beginning, we didn't have that many people on yet at the beginning. I just recently hit 1,000 subs. I'd like to say thank you to everybody. And I am planning on doing something in coordination with both myself and the AMFAW channel together as far as what my 1,000 sub giveaway. And I apologize for the noise. I just had a Great Dane walk in here. So, but that's all I've got. Chris, have you got anything you want to address before we sign off?
I've got a couple things. If everyone could take a minute to swing by the media project I'm doing on Facebook, Keep Calm and Carry Guns. We just gave away a hand-built rifle that I built. Actually, very nice rifle. We gave away a holster from Savoy Leather, some body armor, just a ton of stuff. We're getting into position to do a lot of flash giveaways and a lot of small things for that. So we're really trying to build a community away from YouTube. With TacticalAdv on YouTube, I've got some really interesting things coming up with some secret compartment furniture stuff that I've been doing with wireless remotes and actuators that haven't come out yet. Those should break in the next couple of days, so that should be interesting, and obviously some shooting videos on our AR. So that's really what I got going on in my media world, and with that said, I am TacticalAdv, and all my friends are warriors.
Awesome. Good night, guys.
Peace, guys.